What's up guys, welcome to Southern Hike. I'm Taylor and today we're talking about one of the most controversial topics about backpacking and hiking. Everybody has an opinion about this topic, so let's talk about ultralight. Alright guys, so I've never dug deep into this topic, but I have kind of brushed upon it a few times. I got a few things that are considered ultralight, but most of the time I just buy what I like to use, what works well for me. And you know, I do consider the weight, but it's not that big of a deal to me. Overall, when I do a backpacking trip, I do make sure I keep to a certain weight. As I've talked about in the video, I'll link it above, the big three. I try to keep it around 12 pounds, you know, and under. If you go anything on the big three over, it can lead into trouble, be too heavy for you, and then also hurt your back at the same time, so it's just not recommended. And all your joints too. So I want to kind of break it down in 3 points. I titled this video talking about the 3 reasons I don't do ultralight for the most part, but I guess you could say for the most part, but I really don't do ultralight, as I'll keep in the title. But there's just 3 main things that I really the reasons why I don't do it. And I totally understand if you do, and if you watch this video curious why I don't, let me know in the comments why you do. I'd love to hear it. There's a lot of good points to do it, obviously, because it's a lot more or less weight you got to carry with you on the trail. These are my 3 reasons why I don't. All right guys, so obvious, the reason number 1, it's expensive. Any gear that is super light, it's going to be expensive. You got to pay for the top materials in it, so it's going to be a lot lighter, but the material's a lot harder to get a hold of, so therefore they're a lot more expensive. It take a lot more time to produce, and so it costs a lot more. So on this channel, I've tried to budget everything I talk about. I've actually got some cheap things I use in these videos, and I want to make sure all the people that follow us are subscribers, you know, are more people that are trying to stay budget friendly and stay in, so I don't get onto those really expensive types of tent. There's some quilts, although I would like to buy a quilt, there's some quilts that are rather expensive. They are lighter, but they are more expensive. But there's a lot of great tents out there that are very light, but they're very expensive. Reason number 2, all right, so this is me. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. Taylor likes luxury over being light on the trail. Some things I just like to have. They weigh more, they're gonna take up more space, but there's things I like to have. And honestly, it's just works for me. I found the things that I like, they are a little bit heavy, some things, but I like how they work. They work really well. They're a reputable, you know, a company they come from, and so some things are heavier, but they're more useful on the trail. And so that's something you have to sacrifice if you want those luxuries. And I say that word very much. It is a luxury. So a lot of people would say that, and some people would sacrifice those things just to be lighter on the trail. And, you know, and sometimes it's more important not just to be lighter for physical strength for being able to carry it. Some people just want to challenge themselves and see how many things they can not use to minimize how much stuff they have on the trail. But for me, it's important to have some of those luxuries. I'll take, for example, one thing is my backpack. I would like to get a lighter backpack. It's the Osprey 65 Rook pack, but it is a heavier pack. It's very strong, it's very durable. I carry a lot of camera gear for doing the YouTube, so it's important for me to make sure all that stuff is protected, but it's also heavy, but it makes me feel better to know that that bag is more secure. Now at the same time, I've talked about I would like to upgrade going into 2021 into a more lighter pack, something maybe with a little bit more space at a lighter weight. That's just something I'm gonna have to consider. So there's a lot of options out there. If you have a good one, if you're another person that carries cameras with you and gear, let me know what pack works well for you that's also light at the same time. Reason number 3, I do not do very long hikes during the day. I've heard a lot of other hikers actually talk about this too, and backpackers. My genetics do not allow me, no matter how light my pack is, to do a 15 to 20 mile day without some serious repercussions. I have trained a lot, I run every day, but my joints, my legs just don't allow it. So it's not as important for me to stay ultralight if I'm doing a 20-25 mile day. That's just not gonna happen. It doesn't matter how light my pack is. I don't care if I got anything on my back. Taylor is just not in shape for it, and therefore it just is not as big of a deal for ultralight. Now some people, take for example, one of my favorite YouTubers that does some pretty long hikes, and he's a super ultralight guy, is Craig Adams. I'll link his page above. He does some very long hikes on a daily basis. I mean, he talks about doing up 25 miles. I think he's even said 30 in some of his videos in a single day. That is not gonna happen for me. My body just won't allow it. So that's the biggest thing for number 3 on me is that As far as carrying gear, you know, I try to keep a threshold, you know, 25 to 30 pounds is up there pretty high for me, but I'm not gonna do more than 10 to 15 miles in a day. I think on our second day when we were just in Colorado, we did 15 miles one day, and that was the max for me. It was a little bit over than I was planning to do, but just based on what we did and on the trail, and we went off on some spur trails, we ended up at about 15 miles, and I was very much feeling it. By the end of that day, I was ready for some sleep, I promise you that. So guys, that's the thing. I mean, it's all personal choice, what works for you. So if you've considered doing ultralight, you've heard people talk about it. If you're new to this and want to know what is ultralight about, I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning. Ultralight is basically the lightest possible you can carry on the trail, and some people think it's important. Somebody says that, you know, I've heard a lot of people say that the most experienced hikers are all ultralight. That is very untrue. I've heard a lot of people that have been on the trail for years don't carry the most light gear that they can find. Sometimes they just like to carry their luxury items, and they find a weight that just works for them. But I just wanted to share that with y'all. Make sure to comment down below if you got opinions on how you feel about ultralight hiking. Does it work for you? What gear you might mix some ultralight with some regular gear to keep your gear down to a certain weight, but not considered super ultralight level, you know, 15 pounds and below, something like that. I'd love to hear that. Guys, thank you for all our new subscribers. We continue to see you, and we're glad that you comment, letting us know that our videos are helping you out. That's what we want to do with this channel. Please comment any other new suggestions you would have below. Make sure if you're new here, you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button. Every Tuesday, we try to put a video out. We're still in the middle of moving, so I'm trying to make sure I hit every Tuesday for y'all. I hope y'all all having a great holiday. Make sure you like this video, and guys, I hope you enjoyed this and have a great day.